the silver spur of redemption. The dust of Red Rock Gulch tasted like copper and regret. Jeremiah Jed Stone hadn't seen the town in 10 years, not since he rode out a boy and came back a man etched by the long trails and short tempers of the frontier. He tethered his worn buckskin mare, Dusk, outside the Last Chance Saloon, the only establishment showing a flicker of light in the early twilight. The air was heavy, not just with dust, but with the silence that meant trouble was brewing or had recently passed. Jed pushed through the swinging doors. The piano player stopped mid-note. The saloon was occupied by two groups, a handful of wary locals and a trio of men hunched over a card table in the corner. These men wore too much iron and had the cold, hungry eyes of wolves. Their leader, a brute named Gideon Kray, was the reason Jed had returned. Kray's men had burned Jed's family farm years ago, a piece of land Kray wanted for his cattle range. Jed walked straight to the bar, his hand resting lightly near the worn grip of the Colt Peacemaker holstered at his hip. He ordered a whiskey, his voice a low gravel. Kray's laughter boomed from the corner. "Well, looky here, boys. The little bird flew back to the nest. Didn't figure you had the grit, Stone." Jed picked up his glass, his eyes meeting Kray's in the bar mirror. "I came for the land, Kray, and I came for what you owe." Kray slowly stood up, a massive shadow that dominated the room. He spat tobacco juice onto the floor. "You want your dirt, boy? You'll have to plant your bones in it first." Kray drew a sawed-off shotgun from beneath the table, but Jed was faster. The air exploded with gunfire. Jed didn't aim for the chest, he aimed for the hands. His first shot shattered the wrist of the man to Kray's left. His second slug tore through the shoulder of the man to the right. Both men dropped, howling, their guns clattering harmlessly. Kray raised the shotgun, its barrels wide and hungry. Jed dropped into a low crouch, pulling a gleaming object from his boot. It wasn't a gun. It was a single, silver riding spur. The spur his father had given him. As Kray squeezed the trigger, Jed hurled the spur like a thrown knife. The pellets from the shotgun ripped into the bar wood where Jed's head had been an instant before. But the silver spur, spinning end over end, struck Kray in the eye. Kray screamed, clutching his face, the shotgun falling with a muffled thud. He staggered backward, blind and panicked. Jed rose, walking over to the fallen giant. He retrieved the silver spur from Kray's bloodied hand. "That's for the ashes, Gideon," Jed said quietly, his voice devoid of triumph, only finality. He turned to the silent saloon patrons. "The town's yours again. Keep it safe." Jed finished his whiskey in a single gulp, then walked back out into the twilight, the silver spur now clipped back onto his boot. He mounted Dusk. Red Rock Gulch was quiet again, the silence this time feeling like peace. Jed had found his redemption, not in killing, but in protecting the memory of what was lost. He turned Dusk toward the rising moon and rode on, the soft jingle of the silver spur the only sound against the endless desert.